this team.
This podcast is part of the Planet Broadcasting Network.
Visit planetbroadcasting.com for more podcasts from our great mates.
Matt here, just with a quick update on the UK tour before we get started with this week's episode. Birmingham, the first show sold out, so the second one was put on sale. There are still some tickets available for that one. And Manchester, we're down to less than 20 tickets left for that one too. So jump onto those if you are keen. And new announcements. Edinburgh and London have both got extra tickets available now. The Edinburgh show has been moved to a bigger room and there are limited extra seats, which will go on sale this Friday at 9 a.m. UK time. And London, an extra show has been added on Sunday, November the 18th, and that will also go on sale at 9 a.m. on Friday UK time. This is going to be the biggest show of the tour and also the final show of the tour. So that's really exciting. If you're keen for Edinburgh or London, jump online this Friday, 9 a.m. Or if you're keen to get to Birmingham or Manchester, you can get those tickets right now. Now, on with the show.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Do Go On, the People's Podcast. My name is Dave Monarchy and I'm here with people that are people. It's Jess Perkins and Matt Stewart. Hello.
I'm a
hello.
people who's a podcast.
Yes, you're a people who's a podcast.
Oh no, we're podcast people.
It's confusing already.
Are you? In what way are you confused by that?
A good point.
Are we not people?
Are
Do
we
we
not
bleed?
podcast?
If you podcast through my arm, do I not bleed? I don't know.
I'm not a podcast through your arm. I do it through a microphone.
Thank God. Thank God I've only got two arms.
I was definitely going to bleed.
I was not ready to bleed for this show.
This is a show, Dave, if you didn't know, where we talk about a topic or something like that. And we've traditionally struggled to explain how this show works
Yep.
in a short amount of time. So I've asked our Patreon listeners to give us some one-sentence descriptions of the shows to get us on topic. This week, though, before I do that, I should say we're in Sydney this week, this Friday.
It's Friday night. You can see us describe the show live in person at the Giant Dwarf Theatre at 8:30.
And that means I'm in Tasmania tonight. So if you're in Hobart and you're listening on the day this comes out, come down to Joker's Comedy Club. It's going to be a whole lot of fun.
Oh, so much fun.
So I've asked people to describe the show.
I mean, before we say that, we should also say we're going to be in many other places soon doing podcasts as
Okay,
well.
sure, why not?
We'll be describing the podcast in real life soon in Melbourne for a live show on October the 14th at Howler, which is a Bon Voyage show before our UK tour. We're coming over for some shows in November.
And once again, I will have a jug there for donations.
For souvenirs.
Please put nothing in the jar.
Oh my God.
If anything, take from the jug. It's your money, people.
Yeah.
Fill the jug. Fill the jug.
Okay,
That's like build the wall, fill the jug.
if you're going to fill the jug with anything, fill it with old British magnets that you've got from your own trips that you don't want anymore.
Okay, yeah, I'll take those, but also cash. I'll take both.
Cash money.
Yeah.
Cash and magnets.
Pounds? UK pounds?
Yeah, go on. If you've got any left, if you've just come back from a trip to the UK and you've just got those leftover pesky pounds,
Couple
and
of
it's
p?
like, it's not worth converting it back into Australian dollars because it'll be like $5, and you're like, oh, don't worry about it. Just give it to me,
Don't do it.
and I'll take it on a whirlwind adventure.
And that whirlwind adventure will take us to Edinburgh, Leeds, Manchester, Bristol, Birmingham, and London, all for live podcasts. Please come along. Do go on pod.com if you want to buy some tickets.
And I will buy a magnet at each place.
Oh, that'd be great. Cannot wait to get my Leeds magnet.
Yeah.
Yeah, Harry Kuehl maybe featured.
Yeah, I hope I get a Harry Kuehl magnet.
I'm assuming.
I
yes.
really hope there's still Harry Kuehl memorabilia in Leeds. How much of an impact did he have on that town? That's what
We'll
I want
soon
to
find out.
Was it a town before he was there?
Yeah, it was a town, and now it is a metropolis.
Yeah, a bustling metropolis.
I'm really hoping Leeds. Hopefully, you're ready for Matt's live report on the life of Harry Kuehl that he'll no doubt be presenting for
It
you.
is going to be hard to avoid that. So this week I've got Patreon Soph Waldron, who we know quite well from live shows in Melbourne
Hi, Soph.
over the last few years. This is how Soph describes the show. 3 comedians cover a random topic every episode, with one giving a report while the other 2 try to derail and interrupt with jokes and tangents.
I don't know if we try to derail.
I
it
would
just
never.
happens.
Anyway, thank you so much for that,
Thanks,
Soph.
Soph.
And to start, to get us on topic, the report giver, which this week is me, asks a question. The other 2 do not know what the topic is. Here we go. Here's this week's question.
All right.
According to a Forbes article from 2017 titled The 25 Highest Paid Athletes of All Time, who is the highest paid athlete of all time?
Tiger Woods.
Tiger Woods is number 2. And I should also say, I put out the call about a month ago for sports topics.
Yeah, you did.
And I put up a vote with, I think, 12, maybe something like 12 different
Whoa.
options. And this one leapt out of the box and was never caught.
Awesome.
Oh, so is it a runner you're trying to say?
No, I don't know why I put that in running.
Usain Bolt?
It's not Usain Bolt.
Highest earner of all time.
Did
So
I
I'm
say
thinking
so? Tiger. I've got the list here. Tiger is number 2
Of all time.
all time.
Floyd Money Mayweather.
Oh!
Last 2 years he's been number 1
Okay, I
sports
was going
earner.
to say Greg Norman, but
He's
it's not
number
Greg
9.
Norman.
Greg Norman is on the list. He is number 13.
I think I know it.
Roger Federer.
Roger.
Cristiano Ronaldo.
He's having to search so it's not them because it's Michael Jordan.
It is Michael Jordan.
It's Michael Jordan.
The topic that was actually put forward, and probably what the name of this episode will be, is Michael Jordan and Space Jam.
Great.
But the bulk of the
Report is on Space Jam, obviously.
It's on
Do you know what I learnt
MJ.
while watching Space Jam? Is that MJ wore his...
Please, just let's not preempt anything that's going to be potentially coming up in the show.
Awesome.
Cannot wait for the fun fact section of the show.
Also, I got the question.
You did, yet again.
I never get the question.
Well done.
I'm a big dummy.
That is not true.
Big old dumb.
You're not, Jess, please.
So he's the highest earning athlete of all time.
Number 2 is Tiger. Number 3, Arnold Palmer. Number 4, Jack Nicklaus. So
Isn't Arnold Palmer a drink?
Probably.
I think it is.
Arnold Palmer's a drink.
As in, they named a drink after him, not that he is a famous drink.
He's a tall glass of water.
And he earned a lot of cash.
I think it is. You continue. I'm going to Google it. Arnold
Michael
Palmer
Schumacher,
cocktail.
number 5, rounding out the top 5. That's interesting. So it's
Wow.
yeah, a lot of golfers right up the top.
You would think that going forward in the future, football players...
There are also a bunch of footballers
start to
on
catch.
the list as well.
An Arnold Palmer is a non-alcoholic beverage of iced tea and lemonade, named after American golfer Arnold Palmer. An alcoholic version of the Arnold Palmer, generally made with vodka, is called a John Daly.
I thought it was going to be called a slow Arnold Palmer against the wall or something. You know, they're always, because they've got those weird innuendo ones. A
Yeah.
slow
Screw against the wall.
Yeah, which is
So
like an
what-
offshoot of a screwdriver. I
But
think.
what's the innuendo there? It's pretty blatant. Just a great fuck. Oh, I think I'm picking up what you're putting down.
A hot root against a wall.
Oh, this could be sexual.
Yeah, a double meaning. I love it on pond.
A quick fuck.
So, according to this article, Michael Jordan's career earnings are $1.85 billion.
That is crazy.
That's so many dollars.
And it says, but this is interesting how he's got it. It sort of says, Jordan still maintains his long-time endorsement relationships with Gatorade, Hanes, Nike, and Upper Deck, but the investment that made him a billionaire was the $175 million fire sale price he got the Charlotte Bobcats, who are now called the Charlotte Hornets again, for in 2010. Jordan bumped his Hornets stake up to 90% in 2013.
90. Wow.
wow.
And the team is now worth $780 million. So he just...
Do you cover why the team was so cheap at the time?
I think I don't at all, no. I don't talk about that again. But he...
Because you're not about money, are you,
I'm
man?
not
You're
money.
about the man.
I
The
st-
report's not about the money, Dave.
The report doesn't get that far into his life. It ends sort of at the end of his basketball career.
It ends at the end of Space Jam. You
Everybody
describe the credits and then we finish the
Yeah,
episode.
and we roll credits. Plenty of people suggested this topic, including Bradford Carlson, Robbie, Ansis Eversons, Cole Nielsen, Corey Inners, Dean Clark, and Tim Williams.
That's a lot of suggestions.
Tim suggested it way back, like very early in the original hat.
Cool.
So here we go. Here is the story of Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan was born on the 17th of February 1963 in Brooklyn, New York.
Oh.
He didn't live there long, though. His parents, James, who was a General Electric plant supervisor, and Dolores, who worked at a bank, had 4 other children, so he was one of 5. And when Michael was still very young, the Jordans moved to Wilmington in North Carolina. Looked it up. I hadn't heard of it. Wilmington. Had you heard of that?
No, I like it. Sounds nice.
It's got a population of around 100,000, a little bit more than that, and it's the 8th most populous city in North Carolina.
I'm imagining he's the most famous person that's ever lived there.
I looked it up because I was interested in that, and the only other name that really jumped out at me was Woodrow Wilson, who lived there briefly, who was
Presidente.
is the president, but also famous, maybe more so in our world, for being the name that Bart uses when he answers his teacher, Mrs. Krabappel's personal ad. Bart gets in over his head, and they sort of develop a real love affair between the two. Woody. And then in the end, the rest of the Simpsons end up having to help Bart write a letter to break up with her. He wants to write a letter, or Homer wants to write a letter saying, crocodile bit off my face.
Ate off my face, yeah.
No, Homer. And Homer goes, yeah. Anyway.
I also like, Dear Baby, welcome to Dumpville. Population you.
But in the end, with the help of mainly Marge and Lisa and Homer as well, this is what the letter ends up. This is a weird.
No, I love it. Yes.
Sidetrack. This is how the letter goes. You guys may remember it. Dearest Edna, I must leave you. Why? I cannot say. Where? You cannot know. How I will get there? Haven't decided yet. But one thing I can tell you, anytime I hear the wind blow, it will whisper the name Edna. And so let us part with a love that will echo through the ages, which I think is what Homer suggested.
It's a great line.
Yeah. Woodrow. Anyway, so that he lived in Wilmington for a few years when he was younger, and went on to become president of the United States of America. I thought one of you would have got that.
I
I'm
had no
polite.
idea.
Yeah.
So Jordan played basketball in high school, but he didn't make the high school team in his sophomore year.
You are shitting me.
Isn't that amazing?
I love that so much.
He didn't make the team.
He didn't make the team.
I didn't make the team. I could be Michael Jordan.
Oh my God, you're Michael Jordan.
I could own the Charlotte Hornets or Bobcats one day.
I love when shit like that happens, though. On a much, much, much smaller scale, my brother failed woodwork in year 12, and he is a builder now. He is a carpenter.
But at what point did he go, you know, out of all the subjects I failed, I'm going to do that for it? Like,
Yeah.
when did he decide
What could
that?
I have achieved on subjects I failed?
Yeah,
You know?
they are kind of inspiring stories when people don't let setbacks like that knock them down. Apparently, he trained super hard from there. Like it only made him more determined, and he made the team the following year. And he obviously improved very quickly because he didn't make the team one year, then he did, and then as soon as he graduated high school, he took a basketball scholarship to the University of North Carolina.
Wow.
So now he's getting his studies paid for, backed on his
Basketball.
on the back.
Did he
of his-
have like a growth spurt or something? Is that part of it?
He's very tall.
that might be part of it. I mean,
Sometimes it's like, oh, I'm only 5'4". I can never make the team. Over summer, you come back, I'm 6'6". I can slam dunk now.
and it works in reverse as well, where kids are tall for their age.
Oh, and they're
but
like,
they had an early growth spurt, and the other kids are just.
did that happen, Jess?
Yes.
You were captain of the football team?
I was one of the tallest kids in grade 6. I was like taller than all the other kids in basketball, and then everybody else grew, and now I am average height. And it is a sore point for me.
I'm sorry to bring
But
it up.
I'm assuming also that, like, obviously he played a lot in high school and he got better, but surely he would have been playing as a kid as well, like
Yeah.
starting young.
Yeah,
he-
I mean, if Space Jam's anything to be believed, he was shooting shot after shot in his backyard when his dad came out, had a chat to him, and he was using that net made out of chain that made a sweet noise.
Yeah.
Is that based on
We had
reality?
one of those.
That's all real. That's all documentary footage.
Oh, I love that.
that noise.
chain noise.
It's so satisfying when you get it in. Yeah, we had one in the backyard. It was sick.
Any net is just swishing.
Yeah, the
it.
swish
It's
is
such
great.
Oh, yeah.
such a sweet sound.
Cool. So he's got a full scholarship.
Full scholarship, and then in 1982, his first season at North Carolina, he was named Rookie of the Year, and his team won the Atlantic Coast Conference Championship. So he was very good in a very good team. They also beat Georgetown University to take out the NCAA championship, with Jordan scoring the winning basket.
Oh, nice.
So they're making these big clutch shots.
Even then.
Yeah. He led the ACC, the Atlantic Coast Conference, in scoring and was named the College Player of the Year in both his years at college.
Wow.
So he went from not making the high school team to being a gun.
The
Yeah.
best player in college. And college sport over there, it's not like university sport here where there's 4 people at the stadium watching. They have full stadiums.
Yeah.
Thousands
Televised.
of people. It's on TV. Like, you are a superstar already, basically.
I think they even have it. Yeah, that's right. And some decide to play longer in college ball and some decide to move over to NBA. It'll depend on the player. But even I think in football they have people will just watch the college football games on its own night, which is maybe Saturday. I should talk when I don't know what I'm talking about. Something like that,
You're saying it's a popular broadcast.
Yeah, that's right. Whereas in Australia, no one could tell you anything about any of the college.
No. Yeah, no.
Teams.
It's either the top league or nothing else.
Yeah.
I think my university's team was called the Griffins or something. I don't even know. Anyway,
Go Griffins!
But over there, you would know. You would know what your college mascot was. You'd probably yell it out every day.
Go Griffins! I just said it.
You did, making up for lost time. He was picked up by the Chicago Bulls in the NBA with the third pick of the 1984 draft.
So he wasn't number one.
He wasn't even number one. The number one pick did go to a very good player, Hakeem Olajuwon. I don't know if you remember him at all.
Yeah, he's
from the Houston Rockets. Before starting his professional career with the Bulls, Jordan was selected to play in the 1984 Olympics in LA. And back then, the teams weren't made up of pro basketballers. I think often in the old Olympics, the teams weren't filled with professionals.
And still in boxing, you can't be a professional.
Right. So it's interesting that it's changed a bit in some of them. I think in soccer, it's like there's an age limit on it.
I think it's 21 and under or something.
Yeah, something like that, or
keep
23 maybe.
Keep the superstars away, so it's more of a team game.
And also there's already the World Cup, I guess.
Yeah, true.
So it's sort of like it would just be a second level World Cup, maybe. I'm not sure. That's changed now, and I'll talk about that a little bit later. But the NBA players now do go to the Olympics. At that 84 Olympics, they won gold, the USA team.
Wow.
Is that the first dream team?
No, the dream team was later when pro players were allowed in. So before he even played in the NBA, he was an Olympic gold medalist.
Holy shit. I actually didn't know that about him.
Yeah, I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
I learned a lot from this. I remember him being a gun when I was little, but I don't remember.
Yeah, I remember him playing against aliens in some big match, but that's about it.
One interesting fact that a lot of people don't know is that throughout his professional career at the Chicago Bulls, Jordan wore 2 pairs of shorts. The standard Chicago Bulls red uniform, but underneath those, and this is where it gets interesting, he also wore the blue University of North Carolina shorts from his days playing college ball.
Wow.
Yeah. So he's wearing 2 pairs of shorts, which I found.
But they clash too. He's wearing blue on
That's
red.
right. So he had to fully cover them, right? And this is another interesting thing, and I didn't really know about this at all. To fit the second pair of shorts underneath, he requested that the uniform manufacturer, appropriately called Champion, made his shorts longer and wider so that he could fully cover the smaller, shorter, tighter standard basketball shorts. And Jordan's request changed everything. Well, at least basketball shorts fashion. Probably it didn't change everything.
Of course, because they used to be like almost like AFL footy shorts, like quite short.
Short and tight.
And then they went to like really long and baggy.
And according to an article at dish.com, this is a quote, at first nobody seemed to take note of Jordan's change in uniform as a hot trend. By the end of the 1989 season, though, Scottie Pippen was also wearing his shorts below the knees, and as Jordan's popularity grew, he appeared in more commercials for Nike wearing his new baggy shorts. By the time the 1990 season began, every team in the NBA had a few players wearing baggy shorts, but notably Utah Jazz point guard John Stockton was the last professional player to hold out with his short shorts, which was just a personal preference. So it swept through in just a matter of a couple of years. It went from Jordan as the only one with big baggy shorts, handful of players, everyone but John Stockton. That was the evolution.
Is John Stockton, did he just retire? And that was it?
He retired his shorts.
I say bring back the short shorts.
Oh, especially on men with such long legs. Wow.
That retro footage is sick. I remember seeing that old footage, but I don't remember that ever being. Well, I don't think I'd seen basketball then, but it was just fascinating that just one guy for a practical reason and just how cool he is in the community, he affected everyone.
That's how it happens though. I remember that happening in high school.
Michael Jordan dropped by.
Yeah, and we
He
all
wore
started wearing our
pigtails.
shorts. No, there was a girl at my school who was like very effortlessly cool. She's one of those people. And she had these...
You talking about yourself in third person again?
No, oh, God, no. Now I'm effortlessly... Anyway...
You learnt it. You learnt that
I
skill.
learnt
Sorry,
that.
tell me about it.
She wore a specific school shoe. It was a T-bar. And
Oh, that would be at my school too.
yeah. Well, but the rest of us weren't wearing them. We were all wearing lace-up shoes. She had like the sandals. And my mum had been saying for years, you should get these T-bars. I was like, oh, Mum, no, I want lace-up shoes and I'm going to wear socks, not stockings.
Oh.
And then like Felicity was wearing T-bars and stockings. And I was like, Mum, I need T-bars this year. And can you get me some blue stockings, please?
I'm not wearing the stupid thing you made me wear.
I hate you. I can't believe you thought this was a good idea. And she was like, I'm going to murder you.
So was that because a flick, as we
Yes,
call her,
yep.
didn't give a shit, or was that a
She was just so cool. And then it just kind of spread. Everybody was wearing them.
so
Oh, she's
funny?
got
And now they've banned them at my old school.
Ban the T-bars.
Yep. So we were one of the last generations to get to wear T-bars at my school.
Now they're seen as a symbol of rebellion.
Yep.
Once again.
It's pretty great. So I get the Jordan effect. Yeah, I get it.
What happened to Flick?
Don't know. She left for school in year 8. Year
Really?
9, yeah.
What to start trends and another? She's like, my work here is done.
Yeah. She's like, I've healed them. Next.
Is that like a heel?
Is that a pun on heel?
Is that a pun on heel?
Yes, I meant that.
So good.
Thank you.
Your mind is so sharp.
It's very sharp.
When Jordan arrived at the Bulls in 1984, they were not going too well. They joined the competition in 1966, which interestingly is also the year that the St Kilda Football Club won their one and only premiership in the VFL/AFL.
To date, I mean,
So far, thank you.
by the time if someone hears this next year,
Yeah.
that may be done.
That's right. But
Fact.
it's still true that it was their first, but just not their only
Yep.
anymore. It's also the year that England won the Football World Cup. They brought it home that year.
That's still going to be the first and only.
Anyhow, well, it will be for at least the next
Shots
4
fired,
years.
Dave. We need to sell tickets to our UK show. So if you could not insult
No. I insult people so they have to pay money to see me in person to punch me.
Dave, that's a terrible
And then I
idea.
buy a security guard.
Buy one?
Buy one.
We're gonna
Get one
perform
free.
behind a fence like in Blues Brothers.
Yeah, chicken wire.
Yeah.
Yeah, throw whatever you want, pal. Please don't throw stuff.
No liquids. That gets through.
Oh, no, nothing gets liquid out.
Anyhow, the Bulls joined the NBA in 1966 and had been a middling club since then. They had a few periods where they were kind of pushing towards contention and out, but in the early 80s they were going particularly poorly.
So when he got drafted, was he like, crap?
Oh, no, I
Got
think he
picked
was
by a
like,
pretty average team.
I guess so. I guess you're just happy to get picked up,
Yeah,
right?
I think you'd just be grateful.
Yeah, third pick. You're getting paid a lot of money, yeah.
Yeah.
So they were going poorly. Attendances reflected that. There were not big crowds going to the games. But the arrival of Jordan started turning this all around almost immediately. And he was named the league's Rookie of the Year and made the All-Star team in his first season.
Wow, do people usually do that?
I don't think so, no. I mean, Rookie of the Year normally happens in
Yeah,
your
yeah,
first
so-
season, but making the All-Star team,
All-Star
I think
team
is
in
less
your
likely.
first.
Yeah.
An Australian won Rookie of the Year this year.
Yeah, Ben Simmons.
Yeah.
Did he make the All-Star team, though?
I don't think so, but I'm not 100% sure on that.
Simo.
Yeah, we went to school together. Whatever.
Did you?
No. I'm a lot older than him.
How old's he?
He'd be 19,
20.
I guess.
Oh,
20 or
fuck.
something?
I hate that. I hate that now. You know? It's because it feels so far away. Like,
Hey, remember that Jordan debuted in 1982? 84.
Mm-hmm.
So does that make you feel better? You weren't even born then.
That's true. That does make me feel better.
He found the second year a lot harder, though, as he missed much of the season with a broken foot. But he did return in time for the playoffs, and he scored 63 points against the Boston Celtics. I think it was in his second game back after...
63 points in a game.
After a broken foot.
No. That's fucking mental.
It's still the record for a playoff.
Do you want to know my PB?
Love to know.
Love to know.
26.
That's very good.
That's great, Chess.
63!
Yeah, but that's Michael Jordan.
It's Michael Jordan, what you're forgetting.
Wow.
And he was only playing against the Boston Celtics. I bet you were playing against, the Harlem Globetrotters or
Yeah,
something?
they're very tall.
Just played for the Generals and got 26 points.
It's crazy.
So, yeah, I think that's still the NBA playoff record. I'm pretty sure that is correct.
That's insane.
But even that wasn't enough.
You should have saved that for a fun fact. I'd deem that fun.
Oh, well, that was a fun fact then.
Oh, fun.
Okay, great. It wasn't enough for them to win the game, though. Celtics.
What?
They won in double overtime and went on to win the championships, the Celtics. With Larry Bird.
63 points from one player. Not enough.
That
I
sort
mean,
of
I imagine
suggests-
every other player got 1 point each.
That's crazy. That has blown my mind.
All right, guys, game plan. Throw it to Michael.
that was, I reckon that was probably
We've
the game
definitely
plan.
all been in teams like that.
Michael gets the
I
ball.
was
He's
never
like,
the person to pass it to.
Michael Jordan gets the ball. All right, what do I... Oh, I'm Michael Jordan. Okay.
I'm Michael freaking Jordan.
The legendary Celtics player Larry Bird said at the time of Jordan, "He is the most exciting, awesome player in the game today. I think it's just God disguised as Michael Jordan."
Wow, that's a cool quote. Larry Bird seems cool. I don't know a lot about him.
I don't know a lot about him either.
So I don't want to say that in case he's a creep.
I think
he's nice.
From what I read about him in this, he seemed like a little bit of fun. There's a little bit of cheekiness from him later, but other people seem to think he was very competitive and stuff. Maybe, but I don't.
Sure, he's
I don't
an elite
know.
sports person.
Yeah, I don't know a lot about him.
Think of anybody who's
Even
a
though-
professional sports person. It's like, oh, they're a bit competitive. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's how they fucking win.
yeah, that's how they
That's why
bother. That's
I'm-
how they bother doing what is basically a pointless pursuit
Yeah,
to a very high level.
says 3 podcasters.
To a very high level.
Pointless pursuit.
The following season, Jordan once again had a year of personal success, becoming only the second NBA player after Wilt the Stilt Chamberlain to score 3,000 points in a season.
3,000 points.
Well, do you know the record holder for the most points in a game is Wilt Chamberlain? He's the only one to score over 100 in a game.
Wilt the Stilt seems like an absolute freak.
100.
100 points.
I one time was MVP of my team because I got just over 100 in a season. That's crazy.
But how many games are in your seasons?
I don't know.
They do play a lot of
One.
games.
Yeah, it's Michael's job.
Yeah, no, we just played one game season. I got 100 points.
That's good then. If
Thank
that's
you.
the case, that's
Thank
really great.
you.
You've just equaled the record.
Crazy.
On top of that, he was the first player to get 200 steals and 100 blocks in a single season.
God.
So he was also seen as a really good defensive player, as an all-round player.
I'd like to meet the people who keep these stats too. Like the people who are like, oh yeah, but you got this many assists. It's like, how do you possibly keep track of it? Are you sitting there with a clipboard and just like marking everything down as it happens?
Yeah, that's what I think. There's a team of them sitting at the game.
So it's like, yeah, but if there is one person in charge of points, somebody's in charge of fouls, somebody's in charge of assists.
Honestly, probably, because at the end they're always obsessed with who got a triple-double.
Yeah, triple-double.
It's crazy.
I've seen videos of the teams who do it in the AFL, and I feel like it's one guy calling with
Yeah.
binoculars and another person with the
Wow.
pen marking them down. So be like, hardball get this name or number.
Fuck.
Like, and there's all these weird
That'd be
stats in
exhausting.
AFL. Yeah.
Well, some of the stats they come up with, like the commentators, you'll hear them say, well, this is the first player to do this since this player in this year. And you're like, where did you pull that from?
Yeah.
How did you just go, well, this person's just done something. Let's see the last time that was done. How?
They'd have
Amazing.
some sweet spreadsheets. I
Oh,
reckon.
the spreadsheets,
Get
though.
your
The
spreadies
software they'd have.
Ugh.
Oh,
Yum, yum, yum.
spreadsheets.
He racked up more individual accolades over the next few years, but it was the ultimate success that Jordan was after. And a handy team was being built around Jordan to help him achieve that, including players like Scottie Pippen, Horace Grant, and John Paxson.
Horace Grant. I've never heard that name, but I like
I'm
it.
pretty sure he was the guy with the goggles, if I'm remembering correctly. You remember a player who used to wear the
Goggles?
sports goggles?
Is that not Kareem Abdul-Jabbar?
Oh, there's probably been two players. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, what a name.
No, he's the highest scoring player of all time.
What is his trademark move? The sky hook. I think that was him.
And just
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. What a name. what an everything.
He's my everything.
He's my everything. So the team's getting stronger around Jordan as well. And that led to the NBA title in 1991 by defeating the LA Lakers. They then went back-to-back in 92 by beating the Portland Trail Blazers. And that same year, Jordan would win another Olympic gold medal in Barcelona.
Barcelona.
So I've breezed across his first two championships. There's so many things you could focus on. I could have broken down seasons, obviously. That might have been a bit...
Game 9. First quarter.
He also has has a lot of success. So the Olympics, this is the dream team year. They were the first USA Olympic basketball team to be made up of active NBA players, and they became known as the Dream Team and are described by some as the best sporting team ever put together of any code.
Wow.
They thrashed opponents on their way to the gold. The closest anyone got to them was in the gold medal match. How close, do you reckon? It's not that ridiculous, but it's...
Within 15?
32. That was the closest.
The closest.
In
Who were
any
they
game.
playing?
They were played against Croatia in the gold medal match.
Wow. Australia, we must have been sick or something like that.
Yeah. We were sick.
Yeah, big deal.
Where was Gazy?
Gazy?
Gazy would have been there.
Gazy!
We
Fuck, I named a goldfish after Andrew Gaze. I loved Andrew Gaze. I wanted to be number 10 like him.
Yeah.
He was number 10, Dave.
He seems like a good guy.
He seems like a great dude. Oh, when he commentates, oh man, he's the best. He gets so excited. It's so cute. Sorry.
He used to do I think he used to do like the footy tips or something at the end of the Channel 10 sports news, and then he'd shoot a ball over his head or something.
And he got it at least half the time.
I'm just looking up because I remember the Boomers have which is the Australian basketball team, have a pretty good record at the Olympics. That year they made quarterfinals and finished 6th.
Okay.
That's pretty good for a small, not super basketball-y nation.
Yeah.
I feel like the team that we must be looking to put together in the future, it's got to be handy with players like Simmons.
Yeah, true.
I think there's something like 8 Australians in the NBA now, which is wild.
Yeah. So basically the team's just them, right?
Yeah, I think so. Finished 4th as the Australians in 96, 2000 and 2016. So top 4, it seems like that shouldn't be right, but anyway, bloody is.
Anyway, so with that dream team, I remember reading that like the opponents basically would stick around and ask for like photos and autographs with the other team after the game.
Yeah.
Because you're like, you're playing against like the best, like the heroes of
like people you got posters of on your wall at home. And they...
Who would that be for us in podcast terms?
I guess Steele Saunders, Cameron Alexi from Mike Check.
Yep.
Two in the think tank.
Mr. Sunday Movies would be there.
Yep.
Meso, obviously. I'd have Naomi.
We get to work amongst our heroes.
Yeah, that's true. I've met all these people.
Best team we've ever put together.
Wow.
Ever.
That's cool.
So this is some of the players on the team. Check this out for a roll call.
Okay.
Clyde the Glide Drexler.
Oh, the Glide. So
Sir
good.
Charles Barkley.
Charles Barkley.
What are
Magic.
they called? Sir Charles Barkley. Oh, he's got a really funny nickname.
I think it's a good name for a dog.
Magic Johnson.
Magic Johnson.
That's a good nickname.
Carl the Mailman Malone.
Fuck yes.
As well as players that I couldn't remember nicknames for. Patrick Ewing, David Robertson, and Larry Bird, amongst many others. Tight shorts. Stockton was there too.
So Charles Barkley's nickname is the Round Mound of Rebound.
That's
or Sir
pretty great.
Charles. But I really like the Round Mound of Rebound.
The round mound of rebound.
I don't know how I feel about it.
Yeah,
I love it.
obviously.
I don't get it, but I love it.
The round mound. I think they've just gone, he's a good rebounder.
And he's like he's
Wasn't
pretty
he short?
and pretty stocky for an NBA player.
Yeah, so I
Right.
thought he was like a shorter player though.
I didn't think he was short. Oh,
No,
Dave,
that's
you
not
look
his-
that up.
I mean,
while
mounds don't have to be that big.
No, I'm just thinking like rebounders would be tall. Check height. Maybe I'm wrong.
He's 1.98 meters. Maybe
Yeah,
because he co-hosts the TNT NBA show with Shaq, who is 2 meters 16. So anyone next to him looks tiny.
Shaq is huge.
Yeah, he's very big.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, who we had before, he's 2 meters 18.
Wow, I didn't realize Kareem
Too
was so
big. How do you buy pants?
Whereas Michael Jordan is 6'6", which I think is around that 198 as well, maybe. Something like that.
How does Shaq buy pants?
I don't think he gets normal pants.
Yeah.
God.
He's got his own shop. Shaq.
Shack.
Yeah.
The Shack.
Shaq Short Shack.
No,
So we buy shorts.
the Shack.
Short Shack.
But the first one is Shaq, like name. And the second one is Shack, like SH.
And that's where he buys Shaq stuff.
No. Oh.
Get a stack of the Shack.
At Shack.
The Shack.
Shaq Slack Shack.
Oh, yes.
Okay, yes.
That's great. Shaq's fanny packs.
Shack.
Shaq's fanny Shaq bag.
Should really do an episode on Shaq one day.
He
also was in
seems like
some
a really
movies.
cool guy.
Yeah.
Seems like really fun.
Does seem like a fun guy.
But he wasn't in this team? Because I know he's a gold medalist.
No, I think this might be just pre.
Pre-Shaq.
Anyway,
a pre-Shaq world.
back to Jordan.
Sorry, yes.
If you
Yeah,
want
he's
to
only successful because he's in a pre-Shaq world. Are we right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely. Do you mind looking up when Shaq came into it?
Yeah.
Back to Jordan. So after the Olympics, he then led the Bulls to a three-peat in 1993 when they beat Sir Charles Barkley's The Round Mound of Sound
Rebound.
and Rebound,
The pound of rebound.
and his Phoenix Suns team. So that's for the third time
Wow.
Jordan was awarded the playoffs MVP as well. So he's starring in the best team.
He's killing it.
The Suns mascot, by the way, is Go the Gorilla, as discussed on episode 2 of Primates podcast, which is...
Why isn't it a sun?
Yeah, I tell that story on episode 2 of the podcast Primates. You should check it out.
Shaq debuted in 92 for Orlando Magic,
So he just didn't
For-
quite...
and he was the first pick.
Yes. And I feel like he might have been Rookie of the Year, I can't...
He won a gold medal in 96, the next Olympics.
Right. So he just didn't quite make the dream team.
96 was
And he was the-
Atlanta.
Yeah.
Yes!
And he was the Rookie of the Year,
He was the Rookie of the Year.
93.
Never get things.
We'll talk about Shaq another time, though.
So this, I mean, it's hard to go through a Do-Go-On episode without hitting tragedy. And I didn't realize this, but while Jordan and his career was reaching heights on the court, he found tragedy off the court in 1993. It was around a month after winning the championship. Jordan was informed that his father never arrived home after leaving a friend's house just after midnight on July 23rd, which was a week before his 57th birthday. On August the 3rd, a body is found in a creek in South Carolina,
Oh, my God.
but at that stage is unidentified and listed as a John Doe. There is a gun wound in the badly decaying body. 4 days later, the body is cremated by a state coroner as a John Doe. The coroner is quoted as saying, "This was the first time that we didn't know who we had within a few days or so. We were left with nobody missing in North Carolina and nobody missing in South Carolina. It was not done lightly. I hope the family understands why we did what we had to do."
Wow.
Yeah. Which I thought, I'm like, cremated as a John Doe, but they just,
But hang on. But
the family hadn't.
nobody noticed?
Well, I found this a bit confusing, but it sounds like he traveled a lot for work and there was
Right.
some confusion. They didn't realize he was missing till a little while later. On August the 5th, police find a Lexus that has been stripped down for parts. It's found around 60 miles southwest of where the body had been found. And it is later realized that this is Jordan's car. And on August the 13th, James Jordan is identified by his dental records. This is after, obviously, they've called it in. Teenage friends Daniel Green and Larry Demery are the prime suspects for the murder of James Jordan. And key evidence came from the records of Jordan's car phone. At 7:05 on the morning of the murder, a 2-minute call is made to a sex line. Then at 10... Isn't that...
From a car phone.
From his car phone, the car phone they stole, just after killing someone,
This
they've
doesn't feel like the sexiest place to make a call from.
just killed somean 6 years later. And it's just the car that's...
That's the only thing throwing Jess off. Just killed a person. I'll probably go inside to make the sex call.
I'm going to call a sex line from the car. Hot.
So
I mean,
hot.
it's the car phone.
No, I know.
What, do you want him to just pull that cord out just outside of the car? Would that be
I
better?
don't know. I mean, no, it's better to... Because I don't know what he's doing while there's a sex... or you're on the phone to the sex line.
Have a
Probably
wild guess.
asking for directions.
Yeah, exactly. So I'd rather he do that in the car than
Right.
not in the car. But, you know.
Soon after the phone is used to call, this is at about 10:47, the phone is used to call Green's half-brother before a series of calls are made to relatives and friends of Green and Demery over the following days. Largely due to these phone records, on August the 15th, Green and Demery are arrested and charged, and the following day, police search Green's home, finding a gun and also a rap video in which Green is wearing Michael Jordan's NBA championship watch and 1986 NBA All-Star ring, both given as presents from Michael to James.
A rap video.
He records a rap video where he's like showing off his Michael Jordan bling.
You fucking moron.
Green and Demery agree to testify against each other, so they turn on each other.
Of course they do.
And in their trials, 1996, so a few years later, both are found guilty and sentenced to life in prison. Both had records of some
They're
pretty violent stuff
teenagers,
before
though.
that. Yeah, I think late-ish teenagers
Yeah.
tried as adults, I guess.
Still, it's like, come on.
So, that was a weird thing in the middle of this report. I had no idea.
Did you come across any articles that talked about Michael Jackson's dad and how there's like rumors that he was killed by the mob and things like that?
Michael
Jackson
Jackson's
or
dad.
Sorry,
Jordan.
Michael Jordan's dad.
Oh,
sorry.
no. Oh, they thought that this is some sort of cover-up.
Yeah, because he was like maybe This is all absolute speculation online that I've read before.
Right. No, I didn't see any of that.
But he's like, yeah,
I didn't go into the dark web though, Dave. So
yeah,
where
well,
you do your reports.
it's my homepage. Check out Annie Oakley. Some pretty dark stuff in there. Yeah, no, I just remember reading an article about that once going, just one of those theories that, you know, he was gambling and
Weird.
possibly. But that sounds pretty open and shut to me.
Yeah, with the videos
He's
and
got a
stuff.
rap video.
That's ridiculous.
We're in the ring. Yeah.
Sorry to have fixated on the car phone. I just thought that's a weird place to call a sex line.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like these might be kind of weird dudes.
Yeah, I think you're right. Not very bright either.
No.
I'm very glad they got caught,
I
but
think they're still in jail.
Yes, I believe so.
Wow.
I did not look that up, so I don't know why I say believe so. Just a feeling I have.
You hope
yeah,
so.
me too.
Obviously, Jordan was grief-stricken by his father's death, and this was one of the key reasons why Jordan quit basketball at the height of his powers. So he just won 3 championships in a row, with no reason why they wouldn't be going for a 4th the following year. But this shocked the sporting world. According to notablebiographies.com, Jordan had won 3 straight NBA titles, 3 regular season MVP awards, 3 playoff MVP titles, 7 consecutive scoring titles, and he was a member of the All-Star team every year that he was in the league. In just 9 seasons, he'd become the Bulls' all-time leading scorer.
You just can't. It can't get a better record than that.
No, it's just like...
it can't get better.
That's just so perfect. Without winning every single title, right? Or, you know, like... But it's just wild. It's just such a good...
Yeah, because the last 3 years, he's won the championship. He was the best player in the championship, and he was also named the best player in the whole league. It's like, well, and
it's on every level.
and the top
Yeah.
scorer. Those last 3 years, you can't get better.
Ridiculous.
And also the fact that he turned a team that was battling into, you know, an unstoppable force. It's clearly he is the key ingredient in all of that.
Wow.
Okay, so what's next for Jordan?
What's he up to next?
He's quit basketball, but he's got to do something with his time. Do you guys know what comes next?
If Space Jam is true,
And
Golf.
It's vaguely based on it.
he plays golf and he gets stuck in a hole, and Newman gets a bulldozer in and just starts digging to heaven. I mean, hell.
That's your version of
Yeah.
heaven. You bad boy.
My bad boy. Does he actually try baseball?
Yes, he does. That's what he does. We all grieve in our own ways. It turns out that MJ does it by switching sports.
Still in a professional capacity.
In the 1994-95 season, Jordan tried out with the Chicago White Sox, the big teams, also obviously just in the same town as the Bulls. And Chicago's Bulls coach at the time, Phil Jackson, said at the time, I've said that too many times at the time. That's what he said.
When was this?
It was at the time.
Okay.
His father, this is what he said. His father wanted to play pro ball and did play semi-pro. His dad, James, wanted to play.
Yeah.
When his father passed away, I think Michael was kind of living out his father's dream. That's one of the things I thought when I heard it.
Oh, so his father wanted to play pro baseball.
Yes. And he kind of wanted, he also encouraged Michael to play, but he was also super encouraging with his basketball. Apparently,
He didn't just keep hitting the ball out of his hand and putting a baseball glove on.
he kept giving him he's like, you can use the basketball, but here is a really huge baseball bat. And hopefully this will somehow still work out for you. According to Michael Jordan, The Life by Roland Lazenby, which I'm going to quote a little bit here, Jordan was excited about the change, quoting the book quoted him as saying, all of a sudden I felt like a kid again.
Aw, that's nice.
They also describe Jordan's legendary work ethic transferring over to baseball, which prompted White Sox hitting coach Walt Hrenerack to describe him as one hard-working motherfucker.
Sorry, Walt, can we just get a quick quote for our biography on Michael Jordan? How would you describe him? One hard-working motherfucker.
Thanks, Walt.
Thanks, Walt. That's all we need.
Okay.
That'll do, yep.
Okay.
And cut.
See you, Walt.
The hard work didn't really pay off particularly, though.
Oh, the motherfucker.
He struggled and was a long way off the major league pace. Instead, he was allocated to the Birmingham Barons in the AA Southern League, which, according to the article, is a prospects league, mostly for young talent and kind of like one of their feeder kind of clubs. So I didn't realize this, but it sounds like the Pro Ball major league clubs will have little clubs littered around the country at different levels.
Sure, like in a
Sort of
league
feeding.
below.
Yeah, I guess, like as a training ground.
Talent.
Yes.
Yep.
Well, sometimes in our Aussie rules, in AFL, they get sent back to the VFL when they come back from injury to sort of just get back into it
that's
before
right.
getting picked back up into the main team.
Yeah, it's some sort of version of that, but it's interesting that it's not even in the same city. So these guys, I think they were in Alabama.
Right.
Yeah, and there's other. It sounds like they have teams all around the
You
country.
go see your local Alabama team, and the world's greatest basketball player is playing baseball.
Yeah,
That's so strange.
apparently it was a big circus. People brought so many journalists and fans and stuff would follow them around. There's also like in soccer or football, my Melbourne team, Melbourne City, they've been bought by Manchester City, who also own New York Football Club.
Wow.
Or New York City Football Club. So they've got these other teams around the world, and one of the Melbourne players is being sent over to. He's been signed to Manchester, so I think they use it in a similar kind of way.
Right.
So that's probably more common. It's just a bit weird for Australia because we just don't have that big of a.
Yeah.
There's not as much money, so they can't afford to just have teams everywhere. Anyhow, in general, he found they're going very tough, and he was quoted talking to the New York Times saying, "It's been embarrassing, it's been frustrating, it can make you mad. I don't remember the last time I had all those feelings at once, and I've been working too hard at this to make myself look like a fool. For the last 9 years, I lived in a situation where I had the world at my feet. Now I'm just another minor leaguer in the clubhouse here trying to make it to the major leagues." So he was genuinely trying, and he really did want to make a go of it. But the idea of trying his hand at pro baseball first came up in 1990, apparently. He's saying, "It began as my father's idea. We had seen Bo Jackson and a guy called Deion Sanders try two sports, and my father had said that he felt I could have made it in baseball too. He said, 'You've got the skills.' He thought I'd proved everything I could in basketball and that I might want to give baseball a shot. I told him, 'No, I haven't done everything. I haven't won a championship.'" This is back in 1990.
Right.
"Then I won it, and we talked about baseball on occasion, and then we won 2 more championships, and then he was killed." So you can sort of see where his head was at and why he did want to have a crack at baseball.
Yeah.
I mean, you'd be feeling a lot of different things, but I mean, with all that in mind, it makes some sense. This is a quote from pitching instructor Tom House, who said at the time, He's attempting to compete with hitters who have seen 350,000 fastballs in their baseball lives and 204,000 breaking balls. Such weird specific numbers. Anyway,
Yeah.
he said baseball is a function of repetition. If Michael had pursued, I'm guessing he's basing that on real data, but anyway. Baseball is a function of repetition. If Michael had pursued baseball out of high school, I don't doubt that he would have wound up making as much money in baseball as in basketball. But he's not exactly tearing up AA, and that's light years from the big leagues.
Wow, okay.
That makes sense. Baseball, it's
Yeah.
really just swing. And that's what, isn't that how they train? It's just like a ball machine just flinging balls at you, just in the nets, just hitting and hitting and hitting. And it's going to be very hard to come back from that. You'd have to have just some sort of freakish talent, which I guess.
Which he has for
Potential-
basketball.
Yeah, that's right. He did steadily improve as the season wore on, though, earning a promotion to the Scottsdale Scorpions of the Arizona Fall League. But in the end, baseball wasn't for him. A mix of circumstances, including a Major League Baseball players' strike, meant that Jordan decided to go back to the NBA. He did. There's a lot of. It's again like everything. I could have done the whole episode on his baseball career. There's a lot of cool little stories in there. How he interacted with the other, like he's playing with, other battlers in baseball league, just young kids and old journeymen and stuff.
Right, and he's like obviously a multi-millionaire.
Yeah, so it's just a real fascinating way how that would have all worked. That'd make a great movie, I reckon. It's almost, it feels like something like
Space Jam 2.
that's in the works. Apparently,
I'm available.
It would be taking a different direction to make it about his years playing baseball in the minor leagues. But anyway,
I mean, they had a little bit of that.
yeah, there was a little bit of that, which was fun.
They're just going to deep dive. They're going to explore it more.
He did. He also did play an exhibition match for the White Sox, and he did a few little. I've looked at some highlights and he made made a few hits. He made some runs, but yeah, he was just he went from really ordinary up to pretty average. But he was on if he kept going on that path, who knows?
Who knows?
He may have.
He's obviously a competent player. Like he's a very good natural sports person.
And has the work ethic
Totally.
and commitment that would have, if anyone had a chance, maybe he would have. But it just sounded like it was too hard. And then that player strike happened, so I think he saw that as an opportunity potentially. And on March the 18th, 1995, Jordan sent his now legendary 2-word fax, which is also like his announcement and also his press release.
I quit.
I'm back. Yeah.
I'd never heard of that, but it just makes sense.
And that was him announcing that apparently with his team around him, they were writing all these different drafts. And he's like, I don't know, it's not quite right. And he's like, let me write it. And he came back with the 2 words.
Oh, that's badass. So how long had he been away for? Just one season?
Yeah, about a year and a half.
Right.
So it's a long, again, like not
It's a
playing
long time.
baseball since you were a kid. He hadn't played baseball since he was in high school. So for over a decade. And he did okay playing professionally.
That's crazy.
But a year and a half away from, and he didn't play any basketball in that time. He was very focused on baseball. So it's a long time to.
God, do you reckon his doubts start to creep in? You're like, what if I'm not good anymore?
Yeah,
there must have been
course.
some of those doubts, I'm guessing.
Like
But
you
then
take a
you-
break from anything.
But then you remind yourself, I'm Michael Jordan.
Yeah, that's
And you get
right.
on the
Oh,
court.
hang on. I'm
You
Michael
catch a
Jordan.
glimpse of yourself in the mirror. And go, oh fuck! I'll be great.
I'm such an idiot.
I'm synonymous with good basketball.
I'm the
Oh, look,
highest
I-
compliment you could pay someone in basketball.
I looked at my shoes and I saw that it's a picture of me on there. I'm like, no, I'm pretty good at this. That day, a guy called Steve Shanweld, who worked for the Bulls, said that the phones instantly started ringing off the hook. Our season ticket waiting list started to grow again. TV ratings skyrocketed, and interest from companies who wanted to sponsor us accelerated, he said. Overnight, we became the center of the sports universe again, instead of just another very good NBA team.
Do you reckon when he left the team and his teammates would have been really pissed off? Because he'd be like,
You must have had some understanding with what he went through.
I
as
suppose, yeah.
teammates.
Yeah,
With his
that's
father
different.
dying. Yeah, it's not just like he was like, well, I'm good.
But
Yeah.
you'd hope that he's not like a diva of the team, because obviously, well, look at all the attention that they get because he's coming back. So he's making the money. So obviously they'll do whatever they can to keep him happy.
And he's also gave a bunch of them championship rings,
Yeah.
and watches apparently, which I didn't realize was a thing. But yeah, so I think that there must be mixed emotions
Totally.
between jealousy, but also appreciation, and also just you'd be like, I feel lucky to be playing in this
Yeah.
once in a generation team, but
Yeah, I suppose
I'm a very good basketballer as
Yeah,
well.
exactly.
My whole life I was the gun. Which is what I guess
that's
anyone
like-
in a professional team.
Yeah, I
would
was
be.
the best in my college.
Yeah. Yeah, I was the best in my college's league, probably.
Yeah, and then you get there and you're like, Michael Jordan.
He makes me look not very good.
Yeah.
Apparently a guy was traded back into the team who started with them to take over his place, and he was like a good ordinary player. I wish I could remember his name. But apparently once Jordan said he was coming back, they arrived for the first game back, and the coach saw this guy in the locker room and he goes, "I'm going to start Michael tonight." And he goes, "You sure you want to do that?" And he said they both laughed and just walked in the opposite direction. He sounded like a real cool guy. He was the guy who you think could have hard feelings. He's like, "All right, you want your spot back. Cool, I guess I'll
I feel so bad
go
for this
somewhere
guy.
else." Yeah, but I don't know, he's also part of this awesome story. So it's a tricky one. And he still played out, a whole career. He just
You get the ring at the end of the season.
ended up being a bit of a journeyman around the place. His famous number 23 was retired by the club when he left to play baseball. But there was no rule saying it couldn't be unretired, even though he wore number 45 when he came back. And I always thought that was because of there must have been some weird strict rule about retiring numbers, but that wasn't the case. He just wanted to wear the number he wore playing baseball, which I don't know why, but I'm thinking maybe it's just to show that he wasn't embarrassed about his baseball years. He didn't want to hide from it.
Yeah.
Maybe, I don't know. That seems like that's potentially just a sign of him going, "I'm proud of what I did in baseball."
Suppose you got to also print and sell a whole new bunch of T-shirts
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, well, got to get the 45 jersey now.
Yeah, that's true. Some doubted, I don't know whether or not he did, but some doubted that he could return to the heights he'd previously achieved with basketball. And a year...
I'd love that person
Yeah.
to have to go back to their article. Yeah, I got it wrong.
So all that time away from the game. But when he returned, he didn't quite hit the same standards that he'd set. The Bulls were knocked out in the playoffs by Shaquille O'Neal's Orlando Magic. And in that series, early on, Jordan changed his number back to 23, apparently, which meant the team got fined for him wearing the wrong number. But he just wanted to wear that number again. The Magic then went on to lose the championship decider to the Houston Rockets. I don't think the Magic ever won one. Is that right, Dave? It doesn't matter. And
Shaq definitely has.
but that was that for the Lakers? It doesn't matter. Anyway, he went on to lose. The Magic went on to lose the championship decider to the Houston Rockets, led by Hakeem Olajuwon, the number 1 draft pick that year. In the off-season, Jordan was determined to get himself and the Bulls back to the top. Only trouble was he had signed a deal to make a movie that off-season. That movie, any guesses?
What a Girl Wants?
Titanic.
Oh, it was Space Jam.
Oh.
Isn't he in Titanic though?
I'm sure he is.
In a way.
He's in What a Girl Wants.
What a girl.
I thought you said
What a
Water
girl
Girl.
needs.
Water Girl Wants?
I didn't say that.
No, that's what I
Dave
thought.
did.
Oh, you said Water Girl Once.
No, I said
and you
what?
said Titanic.
Which is basically
is the same movie.
same thing.
Do you get Dave and my voices mixed up?
Look, to be honest, I thought you were singing What a Girl Wants, and that made me assume you also said.
He was singing What a
said
Girl
What
Wants.
I started.
Oh my God. You do get us confused.
Who said that? I need my contacts.
Matt, it's me, Jess.
Yes, Dave? What?
Oh God.
Uh,
Losing him.
So I'm going to talk about Space Jam for a bit here.
Yes.
If you guys are interested.
So just the backstory you just set up there was that he said, "Oh, I can commit to the team, but I've signed a film deal."
He's like, the team did okay on his return, but he wasn't quite hitting the peaks. He's like, in this off season, I've got to take it up a notch. Only problem is, I've got another little commitment, and that is to film a Hollywood movie. So this is what he did. He made it clear to the filmmakers that he needed a first-class training facility so he could work on his game between shooting, and they delivered. They made a pop-up state-of-the-art facility on the Warner Brothers lot, housing a full basketball court that was shipped in from Long Beach Arena.
That poor local team doesn't have a basketball.
Some of the players still
Michael
training.
Jordan needs this.
Oh,
They just they realize they're on the back of a truck all of a sudden. According to an article on news.com, it says it also included an open living room with big screen TV, which was impressive back then. Now, any bloody house, you'll find a bloody big screen TV. Am I right?
No,
Hey?
every
The
house
modern
has a living
world.
room.
I have a living room, not to brag.
Huge.
Yep.
Sound system, couches. I mean, some of these things aren't huge brags, really.
I don't know how these are state-of-the-art training facilities for him. Like
So he's
somewhere
got-
to sit.
I know what actor doesn't get a couch on set.
Yeah.
Now, news.com found him noteworthy. And also a living room table. Also,
A table. He had a table.
He had a toilet.
and also somewhere to nap. AKA a bed.
sorry, Tim Allen just walked in.
That's him.
Sorry, Tim Taylor. A full gymnasium was also there with free weights and workout machines. And
Free weights.
Yeah.
He wasn't having to pay for the
Didn't have
weights.
to pay for the weights.
But he wanted a treadmill. You better believe he was putting in $2.
There's a little coin slot there. And a locker room with several showers.
Why? It's just Michael Jordan.
Just in case Michael and Newman need to take a shower at the same time.
He had 7 showers, one for each day of the week. This is my Monday shower, my Tuesday shower.
How the other half live, eh?
Oh, God. How many showers do you have, Dave?
How many showers a day or how many different showers?
How many different showers?
4.
How many showers a day?
4.
Wow.
One in each.
Very good.
Otherwise-
Keep it even.
Otherwise they get dry.
I'm jealous. That's what I was thinking. Maddie, how many showers do you have?
Depends if Dave lets me in or not.
He's banging on the door with a towel on his shoulder.
Dave, please. I'm very stinky.
I'm filthy.
I'm very stinky.
There was also a putting green and a card table. And a card table, little. I think I mean like a full poker.
State of the art
setup.
card table.
The entire dome cost Warner Brothers $10,000 a week just to air condition.
What the actual
Whoa.
fuck? Okay, he's a diva.
And he,
Just in air conditioning, 10 grand a week.
That is.
and I just
Did
remember.
he
Wild.
request all of those things, or they're like, and we'll give him this, and we'll give him this?
I'm not sure. It's
He just wanted somewhere to train. That's all he asked for.
Yeah.
And they're like, a card table, yeah, okay. He's like, no, I just want like a basketball ring.
No, just remember he's an insane gambler as well. Is
yeah,
that right?
big gambler. Probably. Yeah, I don't know if he's a good gambler or not.
Do you talk about his gambling and all?
No.
Yeah, I'm
He-
pretty sure.
It did come up though. He would gamble with his Barons teammates and
And wouldn't he like sometimes like stay out in Vegas till the middle of the
Yeah,
night
man.
and then go to a game on 2 hours sleep and beat everyone? Like
right.
frustratingly good.
That would be frustrating.
Live
I
good.
did. He definitely into a bit of gambling. According to Nathaniel Bellamy Jr., who was Jordan's stand-in for the movie, during the shooting period, basketball games would be organised in lunch breaks with a bunch of NBA stars who would come in to play Jordan, saying, after a while, I just got used to seeing all the Hollywood stars and Warner Brothers executives at Jordan Dome pickup games. They called it Jordan Dome, the court.
Okay. So he would play against famous people that aren't.
Yeah, so
Basketballers.
just people would be coming through, just other actors and stuff.
Pierce Brosnan's making a film, drops by.
Apparently,
Hello, I'm Pierce Brosnan.
Hollywood stars like
That's such a good impression.
It wasn't
The name's Bond, James Bond.
Let's shoot some hoops, Michael.
Michael. Yours sounded more like Bono or something.
Oh, I'm pretty sure Pierce is Irish, isn't he?
I think Bono was also there, to be fair.
No, that would be good to be fair. I don't think every Irish person sounds the same. I think you
No, I think they-
particularly sounded like
Wow.
Bono.
They all sound like Bono.
That's true.
I've got one Irish accent and it's Bono. Imagine that.
Imagine. I can't. My brain is not big enough to be able to.
Imagine having less than 9 separate Irish dialect accents. Come on.
Crazy.
Come on. So apparently Hollywood
Pierce
stars.
Brosnan is Irish. I looked it up.
Thank you.
Apparently Hollywood stars like Mark Hamill and George Clooney would get down there a bit. He said so many stars came by the Jordan Dome that you just can't name them all. Bellamy recalled.
Well, name a couple of
He
them.
names
then.
2.
He names 2. That's not enough.
No.
I need you to get through 6 or 7 before
and
you.
then you think, all right, stop the list. That's enough.
Yeah.
But, I mean, is that really helping Michael Jordan if he plays against Mark Hamill?
Yeah.
That's not really training.
No
playing-
offense, Mark Hamill.
Well, like Mark, he just doesn't seem like he's not on the same level as Shaq.
He's a Jedi Knight,
That's true.
as far as I understand. one of their things is good basketball.
That's true.
Use the force to slam dunk.
The movie also featured other NBA players, including Charles Barkley,
Yes.
the Mound of Sound,
Yes.
Sean Bradley. What's his nickname? You got a nickname for him?
Boo. Boo Radley.
Boo Bradley.
Nice.
Patrick Ewing, Larry Johnson, and Muggsy Bogues.
He's the really short one, isn't he?
Yeah, they all have their talent stolen by the alien monsters. And Larry Bird also makes a cameo. Mm-hmm. Oh, this is one of the listeners who suggested the topic. He mentioned in his little blurb for why it would make a good topic, he said, asking to talk about Larry Bird's antics on set.
Oh,
And I found
he's a bit of a prankster, is he?
it's
A bit cheeky, Larry.
I found
You left the door open on Jordan Dome, huh? Got to pay $12,000 that week to air condition it. All right.
It's a similar sort of level. I found from Bird's book, his autobiography. There's a few paragraphs about this particular thing that they wanted me to bring up, and this is from the book. The movie people really took care of us. They had this big room filled in the hotel filled with food, drinks, anything you wanted. One cooler had beer, another had soda, another had sandwiches. And then there was this
Is that all you want?
That's all you want.
Sounds like he's trying to pad his book out.
Yeah, it does.
Sandwiches were there. I could have a sandwich and a soda. No problem.
The soda
Yeah.
and the John smelled really good.
Some days I had a beer with my sandwich.
But there was always a sandwich and some kind of libation. I'm Larry Bird.
Sorry to
reading
keep
the
mentioning
book.
that, just in case you've joined us now. I'm Larry Bird, talking to about some stuff that's happened to me. Anyway, back to
reading
the
my
story.
book.
And then there was this big cooler marked Michael only. You weren't supposed to touch that one because it was Michael Jordan's special stuff they flew in just for him. So one day, Bill Murray and I were just sitting there.
Name drop.
And it's the best name drop too.
Oh, yeah, totally.
And I go over to Michael's cooler and I lift up the lid.
Oh, my God.
There was this girl there, and her only job was to make sure everything was just right for Michael Jordan.
I thought you meant there was a girl inside.
Yeah.
I just lifted up the lid. There was this girl there. I was like, what are you doing in there?
She looked terrified.
I'm really
Hey.
cold.
You know what? It's not clear if that isn't what he means. Her only job was to make sure everything was just right for Michael Jordan. And she starts yelling at me from inside the cooler. Larry, you can't come in here. No, it does say, Larry, you can't go in there. Larry, you can't come in here, I said. What are you talking about? That's bull. Everyone here is family. So he's bigging himself up. He talked pretty sternly to her. She was getting all nervous and said, no, those are all things that Michael told me he wanted. And if you take something out of there, Michael won't be able to have it. And we just can't let that happen.
Oh my
Bill
God.
Murray is laughing the whole time listening to this
Oh my
because
God.
whenever Michael walked into the room, he always went to one of the other coolers and pulled something out. He's just like the rest of us.
All right, just Michael can go to all the coolers and Michael's cooler. You can't go to Michael's. That's the only rule. Michael's not limited to the Michael cooler, okay?
Yeah, that's obviously that's
This is called Jordan Dome. Fuck!
fuck, Larry. How do we make this clearer?
How dumb are you?
But he said he hardly ever opened his own cooler. I mean, that's his prerogative, Larry.
I wonder what's in there.
Anyhow, I waited until the girl left. Then I reached in and started grabbing stuff out of Michael's cooler and throwing it out to the crew all over the set. I threw it everywhere. Gatorade bottles, some special drink he liked, candy bars. She was so mad at me.
Medicine.
For the
A kidney.
Yeah, he doesn't need this. Yum, 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 yum.
For the rest of our stay, every time I went by that cooler, I took something out. That is the Larry Bird story.
Those are the Larry Bird antics. What I love about
Well
that
done,
is,
Larry Bird.
you know how a lot of celebrities, especially if they're not from like a writing background, will get a ghostwriter? It's clear he did not. Because that is terribly written.
Also poorly read by Matt.
Terribly written, poorly read, badly recounted. It's a fail all around.
I enjoyed that a lot.
It's 2 out of 5
And I found
stars.
it so fun as well. And the fact that it was mentioned in this very short thing. Hey, you should do an episode about Michael Jordan and Space Jam. You can talk about this, and how. And he said how Larry Bird stole Michael Jordan's sandwiches. So there may be a more entertainingly written version of that story.
I don't
but
know that there is. I don't know how there could be.
It was a good amount of fun. I loved it.
No, so that's an episode highlight. I'm glad they brought that. That's really funny.
I read it and I'm like, do I put this in? It is fun. It does show a different side of Larry.
You made the right call.
You know?
Yeah.
What were you, do you think of Larry Bird differently now?
I do.
Yeah.
And I just don't like that kind of disregard for rules.
Yeah.
Because I would be that woman trying to just keep the peace and keep things rolling, and then there's one little turd fucking everything up. And then who gets in trouble when Michael needs something that's in his cooler and it's not there? Who gets in trouble?
It's not
then?
Larry Bird.
It's not Larry Bird, is it?
Also, Larry, you're also a big star, very rich man. There are many other coolers. You've said there's everything you need.
Yes, you literally said there's everything you need.
Beer, soda, sandwiches.
The big three, baby.
What do you need? Just ask. If there's something you want, just ask. I'll get it for you.
I'm sure there's someone here at this Hollywood studio that can get you Larry Bird doing a cameo in the movie.
Also, how weird for the people on set. Like, Larry Bird hands you a sandwich. You're like, oh, thanks so much. You start eating it. And he's like, yeah, that's Michael Jordan's. You're like, oh, my God. I'm going to get fired.
Nah, it's fun. This is fun.
We're having fun. She's so mad.
I'm putting this in my book.
I always find that weird.
Hold on. Just let me write down this idea for my book, which I'll write in a few years.
It's inevitable that I'll write a book. I always find it weird when people think it's really funny when someone's mad at you.
Yeah.
That's strange to me. Like, oh man,
You're
she's
ruining
so
this
pissed
person's
off.
day.
Like, yeah, just pissed off because you're acting inconsiderately.
And yeah,
Weird.
it is weird. It's also like, you know, when people write a book and a bit of time's gone by and it's a memory, they juice it up a little bit. Imagine what the
Yes.
reality of the story was.
It was like a 1 minute thing. She said, don't go in there. He went, no worries, miss.
Yeah, and then she left thinking nothing would go wrong, and he
He's
took out
sweating
a Gatorade.
bullets.
Yeah,
I've got to impress Bill Murray.
He's laughing. Bill's like snoozing over in the corner.
he's
like,
just in the room.
Bill Murray was laughing his head off.
Bill Murray said I'm the funniest person he's ever met in his life.
He said, I should have been in Ghostbusters. He said, fuck Dan Aykroyd. Apparently, moving on again. Apparently, the Michael Jordan work ethic transferred over to acting as well. According to Bellamy,
did.
I'm working this guy Bellamy who no one's ever heard of a bit because he was just quoted a bit in this article. And he had some real insights. According to Bellamy, Mike was great on set and he was always prepared to work. Acting wise, he got incrementally better as the shoot went along. It's a little backhander.
Incrementally.
And also just saying he improved sort of implies that he wasn't great at the start.
Well, if you watch the film, he's not great in it.
But he's also fine, right?
I think the real breakout performer there is Daffy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Bugs is always a real star, obviously. A
obviously.
lot of natural talent. Lola Bunny.
That's her first appearance in anything. She was
Yeah.
created for the movie, Lola.
She was great. Lola was great. Girl power, am I right?
Oh, you are so right.
And incrementally is not enough.
Dave, remind me to tell you a joke about girl power later off mic because it's not appropriate for on mic.
Is it appropriate for you to
Funny.
Will do.
I bet it's going to be a Larry Bird-esque anecdote.
It's going to be a real repeat.
Anyway, so the Spice Girls were hanging out with these coolers. If you don't know Space Jam, I know you two sound like you definitely do, but some people listening at home might not. Here's a brief synopsis from Rotten Tomatoes. Basketball superstar Michael Jordan and cartoon favourite Bugs Bunny team up with other basketball greats and Looney Tunes characters in this combination animated/live action feature. Jordan must help the Looney Tunes gang with a basketball game against a group of outer space creatures, the Monstars, whose plan, if they win, is to kidnap the Looney Tunes and take them to the failing intergalactic amusement park as the latest attraction.
Oh, I forgot what that was. Yeah,
So that's for the game. That was so if they lost, the Looney Tunes would have to go up to Moron Mountain.
And they're just playing one game against them?
One game.
Why did the Looney Tunes agree to it? I can't remember. Do they kidnap someone or something?
Yeah, it's more.
Why do they agree to those terms? All
Yeah.
right, I
Those
guess
are
we'll
stupid
play.
terms.
Yeah, that's maybe it's just one of. There's often stupid terms in those movies.
I think you'd go best of 3 games.
Yeah, just in case.
That does happen in movies. It just made me think of the time it happens in the Tenacious D movie when they make a deal where it's like and the devil and you can take you can take Kyle. This is Jack Black saying you can take Kyle as your sex slave. And Kyle's like, what? And Jack Black's like, it's the only way. Why is it? Very, very funny. It's the only way. That is kind of what these movies are always like. Somehow they make it so it's the only way. It's like, there's definitely other opportunities, other ways we could handle this. No,
it's
we have to play a
way.
basketball game to save you from having to go to Moron Mountain.
And it doesn't go. It only goes for about. I watched it a few years ago again. It only goes for about 80 minutes or something. It's very short.
Kids movie.
Yeah, I guess that's probably normal. Maybe
80,
not normal.
90 is about right for a kid.
Yeah, it's pretty.
I mean, I get
quick.
bored after a while anyway.
I mean, the premise is.
We've been going for, over an hour and I'm getting itchy feet.
When you want to get married? Is that what itchy feet? No, it's
No,
cold feet not wanting to get married.
Itchy feet's wanting to move.
Cold feet's not wanting to get married. I always assumed itchy feet was wanting to get married.
Yes, Matt, I want to get married.
Because you want to get to the dance floor.
Correct.
Yep.
Want a boogie. And that's the only way to get to a dance floor. Is to get married.
Yeah.
I won't let single or unmarried people dance.
That's not a place for them. It's Footloose all over again.
It's inappropriate.
Yuck.
It goes for 88 minutes.
88 minutes. Dave, can you look this up? The movie's original promotional website can still be found online.
Yes, and it's still the same. I've been on it not that
my
long
God,
ago.
you have
It's
to
all
show me.
exactly the same, and it is such a cool...
Yeah, I'll show it to you.
it's all exactly as it was in 1996.
Oh, fuck yeah.
It's like you remember, that's the first time I went on the internet, stuff like that.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's like a real cool time capsule.
That's
I reckon.
awesome.
And I
What's the
actually,
website?
Spacejam.com, which
Great.
now goes to warnerbrothers.com and it's been archived, but it's exactly the same, yeah.
Nice.
And I got the following information about the film from the website. The movie, and which is like handy information, the movie incorporated live action along with CGI, 2D and 3D animation. Animation producer Ron Tippe explained, everyone knows the Looney Tunes, but we wanted Space Jam audiences to see the Looney Tunes as they had never seen them before. There are animated effects in this movie that have never, ever been attempted on screen in previous movies. We're combining 2- and 3-dimensional animation with CGI. It's so far back that they had to put in brackets computer-generated imagery
Oh, it's so good, yes.
in a digital setting. All of which is tech talk for saying the look, the effects, and the blending of the real and the fanciful are truly state-of-the-art.
Hell yeah.
I love it. I love it. I love it when creatives big themselves up.
State of the art.
While animation was responding to the challenge of getting the animation on screen, director Joe Pytka was working on the live-action portion of the film. Stage 22 at Warner Brothers was converted by Cinesite into a huge green screen set. There, against walls marked with a graphic grid to help pinpoint future character positions, Jordan played basketball, both with his Looney Tunes teammates and against the animated alien invaders, the Monstars.
So he just played basketball by himself, basically, didn't he?
Yeah, I've seen footage of it. It looks cool. He's not exactly playing by himself. There are people in green suits with only their eyes showing as well, so that they could tell where the other characters would end up being.
Yep.
2/3 of the 60-day production schedule took place on this stage, during which time Jordan, Bill Murray, and Wayne Knight were the only live actors on the set. Wayne Knight being Newman. Who Dave mentioned before, he also plays Newman in Seinfeld, The Postman, and Jerry's Nemesis. He's in Jurassic Park.
Oh, he's too, yes.
And he's a funny...
I was just thinking about Jurassic Park because I was thinking about what year did Jurassic Park come out?
94 maybe?
Similar-ish time.
Because there's like the dinosaurs in that are so amazing still. I watched it recently that I can only imagine watching it back then. It would have been like, it would have blown your fucking mind.
It was the highest grossing film of all time at the time.
Because it's still like they're even better than recent films I've seen.
Yeah, because I think a lot of it was real. It wasn't CGI. I think CGI at the time would have dated, but because it was big
dinosaurs.
Yeah, they used real dinosaurs. No, but they used physical,
Right.
whatever you call it. I think a lot of the stuff was real. You could touch it stuff. What do you call that? Real effects, whatever that's called.
Puppets.
Puppets. That's it. Muppets. Kermit the Frog played the T-Rex.
Wow, it was his best role yet.
In order to keep the ball in motion and orient the stars' eye contact and responses, the Looney Tunes and Monstars positions were played by actual actors clothed from head to toe in green suits, rendering them invisible when the film was composited. Cool stuff. And it all paid off because it was a big hit. It wasn't really expected to be, but it was a big surprise box office hit, taking in around $230 million from an $80 million budget.
Nice.
Here are some fun facts about the movie from the IMDb trivia page.
Great. Love it. I love those fun facts on IMDb. Some of them are very dull. And
Yeah.
you're like, okay.
I tried to pluck out ones that weren't dull.
Thank
but
you.
let's
Good
see.
choice.
The concept for the movie originated from a series of highly popular Nike ads where Bugs Bunny and Michael Jordan faced off against Marvin the Martian and his alien henchmen in basketball.
I did not know that.
I never saw
It's
those.
inspired by Nike ads, which is,
And they made a film out of it.
yeah, they were super popular, I guess, and they were like,
Cool.
all right, let's go with this. Next fact. Noel Blanc, Mel Blanc's son, who's, the
The man of 1,000 voices. The real one.
Well, I'm the man of
Wow.
1,000 noises.
Oh, pardon me.
Please. Dave, that is
Sounds? What are you sounds?
Sounds.
Noises.
No, I think it's noise. Noises sounds funnier.
It does.
No, I don't make sounds. I make noises.
Ah!
81.
So Noel Blanc it was originally booked to provide all of the regular Warner Brothers male cartoon character voices, but he and Warner Brothers couldn't agree on a contract, so the studio replaced Blanc with 4 other people to do the 12 male voices instead of Blanc doing more, obviously. This included doing the Bugs Bunny and Elmer Fudd was Billy West. I didn't realize this, who is the voice of Fry
Right, in Futurama.
Futurama and a bunch of other, I think he did Ren and Stimpy and heaps of other stuff. But that was really cool. So yeah, I guess he does it so well because I didn't realize that so many different people had played Bugs. I thought it was just a small handful, and he doesn't at all sound like, because Fry's kind of like Billy West's voice, slightly modified, I guess. But yeah, I'd have to go back and watch it again. But
Yeah.
I don't remember thinking it sounded off at all to me. So obviously he did a good job, which is high praise for a guy whose profession is voice acting.
Yeah, he got incrementally better as the movie went on.
Michael Jordan, here's another fact from the IMDb page. Michael Jordan actually wore his North Carolina College basketball shorts under his Chicago Bulls uniform every game as a good luck charm. Did you know that?
You bastard.
Jess is looking at me in disbelief, but yes, it is true.
She's not happy with that, are you?
Dave, would you call that face disbelief? I would call it disdain.
And the last scene shows Michael Jordan returning to the NBA wearing the number 45 jersey, which obviously little bits of the movie were out from real life. He played baseball in it. He was they had a lot of fun with him being a battling baseball player in the movie. Did you guys enjoy the movie back in the day?
Yeah. I haven't watched it recently. I'd like to rewatch it.
Yeah, as a kid, my friend had the toys of like the Monstars and, we'd play with it. It was really fun,
A
yeah.
lot of big merchandising. So
Yeah.
there has been talk for a long time about a sequel. There was actually a sequel that was a long way down getting made, but they couldn't get Jordan to sign on. And it went through all these script changes. And after quite a while, it finally came out starring Brendan Fraser and called Looney Tunes Back in Action.
Oh.
Are you
So
serious?
that started its life out as Space Jam 2,
So we'll obviously be doing that in Phrasing the Bar.
Phrasing the Bar.
Is that that's a real film?
That is a real film.
Never heard of it.
Yeah, it was
Did you know
not
that?
as not as
Tune into our
successful.
podcast, Phrasing the Bar.
Phrasing the Bar.
to hear more
Wow.
about it.
When you were talking about that a couple of weeks ago, I originally thought you were starting a Frasier-themed podcast.
Maybe that's the offshoot, season 2.
Yeah, so
Yeah, when you run out of his 11 films he's been in.
we go through the 11 seasons or whatever of Frasier.
Fuck.
And then we go back to Cheers.
Yeah.
What have we got ourselves in for?
Yeah, good luck with that one, guys. I'm happy not to be invited.
Oh, well,
That's interesting.
that makes the next question moot. But Dave, would you like to be involved?
Brendan Fraser, yes. Frasier, no, thank you.
By the time the film was released at cinemas, the following NBA season had been completed already, and Jordan had just won the MVP award again, and he led the Bulls to a record-breaking season. So remember, at the end of last season, he didn't quite
Wasn't
reach
quite-
the heights.
Yep.
had this off-season filmed Space Jam. By the time all the post-production had been done and it had been released, the NBA season had gone through and he was back to his best.
And did the team win another championship?
The team won 72 out of 82 games for the regular season, which was a new record, which was an all-time record then until just a couple of years ago when the Golden State Warriors broke it in 2016 by one game. So it's still the second highest. Golden State Warriors didn't go on to win the championship that year, but the Bulls did. So that was his fourth championship and the Bulls' fourth championship as well. Jordan also earned his 8th scoring title that season, became the 10th NBA player to score 25,000 career points in the second fastest amount of time after Wilt the Stilt.
And he'd had 18 months off.
Yeah, that's right.
Or is it per game?
It might be per game, yeah.
Didn't he have a family as well?
He did have a family. Yeah.
They're in Space
Two
Jam.
kids.
That's what I thought.
Like Bugs Bunny's in their house. Is that?
Yes, that's
is
their
that not his
names,
kids?
but not his kids. So they're
Really?
actors playing his family, yeah.
But also,
I feel so robbed.
where does he find the time? How does he do it?
I know, it's amazing he squeezed all that in the off-season.
I don't want to make assumptions, but I would assume he'd be an absent dad.
No, see,
You know,
Jess,
he's so busy.
what Matt failed to mention was that living room that they shipped in. They also shipped in his family.
Oh, that's okay then.
And
The
locked them in there.
basketball court they shipped in was where his kids played local basketball. And it was a game they were playing in when they took it up off the ground. And
When George
I just
Clooney
picture
came-
like a really big digger.
Well, he
just
couldn't make it to
getting
that
underneath
game.
and taking out the land underneath the hole.
He couldn't make it to the game, so he brought the game to him.
Yeah, and that's good parenting.
That's good parenting. Sorry, Michael,
Thank
for
you.
assuming you were an absent dad
No.
when you were just busy playing basketball and filming Hollywood films.
So in the championship game, championship playoffs, they beat the Seattle Supersonics, tying it in with Frasier, his hometown. Frasier Crane's
Baby, I
team.
hear the blues are calling to salad and scrambled eggs.
Oh my.
I assume that's the theme song for the Supersonics or whatever they're called.
Yeah,
And
if
maybe I
not-
feel a bit confused. Well,
maybe.
But I got you in.
picked.
Ha! I'm saying nearly every word wrong.
A scrambled egg's their mascot.
Yeah.
I don't know what to do
The su-
without a salad and
The
scrambled eggs.
Seattle Super Scrambled Eggs. According to notable-biographies.com, few who watched will ever forget how Jordan sank to his knees, head bent over the winning ball in a moment of bittersweet victory and deep sadness. The game had been played on Father's Day, 3 years after his father's murder.
The championship game.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Wow.
So it's just so much going on.
Yeah.
Now, not to breeze over it too much, but I'm going to breeze over it. Jordan and the Bulls would go on to win the following 2 titles as well, bringing their total to 6 championship titles, up from 0 when he arrived in the late 80s. Jordan won the Finals MVP award for the 6th time also. In the 1997 playoffs, they went on to win the championship in, one game is now known as the flu game, which I hadn't heard of this, but apparently it's quite famous. In Game 5, Jordan came down with a mystery illness, but forged on anyway and ended up dragging the Bulls over the line with 38 points.
Wow.
Yes, I've seen footage. Have you watched the footage of it?
Yeah, so he nearly
like-
passed out a few times.
He's like on the side in like the halftime breaks with a towel over his head, practically like vomiting, and then he goes on there and like is the top scorer of the game.
Just amazing.
How did he do that?
So
Freak.
it's known as the flu game apparently, but there's also a theory that it was food poisoning on purpose. Tim Grover, Michael's personal trainer at the time, recounted that he was. This is all a quote from Grover. Yes, he was 100% poisoned for the flu game. Everyone called it the flu game, but we sat there and we knew we were in the room. We were in Park City, Utah, up in a hotel. Room service stopped like at 9 o'clock, and he got hungry. And we really couldn't find any other place to eat, so we ordered. I said, hey, the only thing I could find is a pizza place. He said, all right, order pizza. It's another good story. I think Larry Bird helped him write it.
A natural born storyteller.
Goes right to Larry Bird.
We had been there for a while, so everyone knows what hotel. Everyone kind of knew where we were staying. So we ordered a pizza. They came to deliver it. 5 guys came to deliver the pizza, which is funny.
They had to take 2 cars.
Yeah. I said, I got a bad feeling about this. Out of everyone in the room, he was the only one who ate it. No one else. Then at 2 o'clock in the morning, I get a call to my room. I come to the room. He's curled up in the fetal position. Immediately I said, it's food poisoning. Guaranteed, not the flu. So
another flu game, the poo game.
Yeah. So either way, whatever it was, he was crook as.
And that backfired on them as
Yeah.
well. They're like, haha, we got him. Oh, fuck.
The 5 pizza boys. They thought they had him
That's
another
weird.
victim. And it's just weird. If that's true, 5 people. Here's your pizza. Why are there?
Yeah,
Can
why?
you tip us all?
It's possible that they just heard it was for Jordan. And they're like, we'd love to be there.
Surely that's what happened. They just
Yeah.
want to
And
see.
if you went to go poison him, why would
5
make it
turn
weirder?
Yeah.
Surely you'd go with one of you and you'd wear a balaclava.
Yeah, you go, 5 people drop it off and they're all like, make sure only Michael eats this.
Yeah, make sure he eats it all. It seems
Clearly
like
they
a
just
wild
want-
conspiracy.
They just want to see
theory.
the superstar.
Yeah,
Yeah,
fair
that's
enough.
feels more accurate to me, but who knows?
I mean, you're a pizza delivery driver. How many times do you get to deliver to Michael Jordan?
Yeah,
It's like
probably 2 or 3
yeah,
times.
it's probably twice in a lifetime, 3 in a lifetime event.
It's 2. Yeah, it's 2 in a lifetime. They say it's 2 in a lifetime. It's once on your way up and once.
Yeah, once you get that second call in, you know it's time to start thinking
Yeah.
about hanging up the
hanging
delivery
up the
driver
delivery
boots.
Yeah. Jordan retired again in 1999, though he did make one final comeback to play for the Washington Wizards for a couple of seasons. He had an ownership stake in the team, and despite getting on in age, I think he was like 38, he sold his stake so he could come back and play for the team. And he helped bring the Cellar Dweller team up to a competitive level before succumbing to injury, but he did improve the team even in his sort of
Right, so he was still good.
moderate. Yeah, still like without being dominating like he did, he was still like a very, very good player. It's easy to see why Jordan is still seen is seen as one of the greatest of all time by many, because he's so much individual and team success. The other name that people have been debating a lot lately, you familiar with LeBron James? It sounds like Wilt the Stilt should be in this conversation.
Why are people not talking about the stills?
Yeah.
It's like he's not meant. It's like people can't outside their lifetime. It's like
Yeah.
they don't count. But
Well, Kareem Abdul, he scored more points than anyone else.
yeah, so
Why
it
is
feels
he
like
not
they
the
should be in the conversation. But maybe there's a reason for that. Maybe not. I'm not sure. But anyway, I found this article that with an expert in debating who talked about it. I'll tell you about that in a second. But the other thing about LeBron James is he's the one that's rumored to be in the sequel for Space Jam. But it's long been in talks, and that's
He's got some acting credits already.
yeah. So it sounds like that helped him when he was in the Amy
Trainwreck.
the Trainwreck movie. Apparently, he was very funny in that, so that brought the conversation up again. But anyway, Sports Illustrated enlisted the director of debate from the University of Kansas, Dr. Scott Harris, to cast his eyes over the arguments. And he seemed a little split. He liked LeBron if it was a one-on-one game. He just thought at their peak, LeBron would win one-on-one. But he suggests that MJ perhaps has a bigger heart and will to win, saying, which the flu game sort of is a pretty good illustration of that. But this is a quote from the doctor. He said, if I were picking one of them to win a do-or-die game against an alien space invaders for the future of the planet, I'm probably picking Michael Jordan.
Oh, wow.
Is he trying to pitch his own Space Jam plot?
I think he was using hyperbole to say if it was his life on the line, he'd pick Jordan.
No
But
pressure.
Obviously using the very fun Space Jam reference there. That's the end of the report. I do have some fun facts if you reckon we have time.
I think we do.
I reckon. It's always time for fun facts.
I found this it's a little listicle on Huffington Post, with a few great fun facts that I had no idea about, like this one. Michael Jordan played a cartoon superhero in a short-lived series with Wayne Gretzky and Bo Jackson. It's called Pro Stars, and it lasted for 2 seasons in the early 90s.
Sounds amazing.
It featured the 3 sports stars living together in a gym and saving the world from villains. Michael Jordan was the leader and brainy one of the group, often explaining long scientific reasonings for plans. They didn't voice their own characters, but that was just based on them.
Oh, they didn't. Oh,
I didn't even voice the characters. That's so good.
it's kind of a cop out, really.
Yeah.
Here's another fun fact. Michael Jordan donated his first year's salary with the Washington Wizards, which is about $1 million, to the recovery effort for the victims' families of 9/11, which happened, just before he started up with them. Bit of fun. Growing up, his nickname was Magic Jordan, named after Magic Johnson.
Oh, right, but then you get
He even had number plates on his car.
Magic.
Early saying Magic Jordan. But
that
then
doesn't fit.
apparently they
it might in America.
didn't get on very well for a while for different reasons, but eventually became friends when they talked it out years later.
I hear a buddy cop film.
Magic and magic.
Cute.
This might not be fun, but this is an amazing stat. Starting in November 1990, Michael Jordan and the Chicago Bulls never lost 3 games in a row.
Wow.
They play that many games in a year, never like that. That must be some sort of a record, right?
That seems.
So that's 9. Oh well, I mean, he did take that season off, but still, that is wild.
Yeah.
And this I hadn't heard. His best friend is this limo driver called George Kohler.
Of Coca-Cola.
Apparently, when he first landed at Chicago Airport in 1984, the Bulls forgot to send anyone to pick him up, and a limo driver named George Kohler took pity on him and offered to help. Kohler was a young man as well, and the two hit it off despite an initial confusion. Kohler recounted, "I was excited because I knew who he was, and I thought, holy smokes, it's Larry Jordan."
Holy smokes. Now, let this guy write a book. That's good stuff.
Look at that one line. He's already better than fucking Bird.
Holy smokes. It's Larry Jordan.
And
Michael's like, close enough. Gets in the back.
Yeah,
That's
it's fine.
apparently he said to him, he said, when he saw him, I said, Larry Jordan. Larry was Michael's brother. Okay, so it wasn't that wild, but anyway. Kohler only charged Jordan $25 and offered him to show him around the city to help him find a beer. A couple of weeks later, Jordan called him to hang out, and they developed a friendship and they're best friends, apparently.
That is so lovely.
That's the best.
Maybe that's a nice one to finish off. This other one that I thought was pretty good was the Miami Heat also retired number 23 out of respect for him, having never played there. Yeah, the first. That's the first jersey that Miami Heat ever retired.
Look, we don't have enough good players to retire a jersey.
They're a pretty new team, I guess. But yeah, it's an interesting. I guess it's almost like it feels almost like a publicity stunt.
That's so good.
The ceremony Man, I'm talking weird again. I say this nearly every episode lately, and it's starting to feel like I just don't talk very well.
You've been fine up until that point.
The ceremony took place on April 11th, 2003, before a game between the Washington Wizards and the Heat. No one will ever wear number 23 for the Miami Heat. You're the best, Heat President Pat Riley said to Jordan. Riley had coached against Jordan many times when he still played with the Chicago Bulls, and the Wizards won that game.
You're the best, and all the players are like, "What about us?"
What about the players that play for you?
Yeah, and they're like, he's like, "I don't even know your names."
And I don't care to know.
I love you, Michael.
It didn't feel like that. It was him going, maybe this is a way I can meet Michael Jordan. How can I just want him to talk to me.
Yeah, I want to win over Michael.
Oh, that is the end of the fun facts. Jess, you didn't say, but I assume you thought all of those were fun.
All of those were fun.
That was a cool topic.
Good one.
It was a roller coaster,
crazy
right?
life.
Yeah.
And now he's obviously a super successful business person.
Yes, so he's super rich, and yeah, he's still doing a lot of good stuff.
Had a lot of kids. Did any of them ever show promise?
I think his eldest son played college ball, and I think he got to a pretty decent level. But obviously, living in the shadow, it's hard. But I think he was a handy player.
Handsy.
He was a handsy player. Great hand skills, which is important in basketball.
Great handsy eye coordination. Oh, good stuff, man. That was good.
That's all I wanted to hear.
It was good fun. The old Michael Jordan.
Now, at the end of our reports, we've got a segment that's come up over the last month or so where we talk about a quote, a fact, or a question.
That's right.
And this segment's called Fact, Quote, or Question.
Great.
And these come from Patreon supporters. And if you'd like to become one of those and support the show, help us keep growing, you can go to patreon.com/dogoonpod and you get stuff in exchange, including 2 possible bonus episodes that we put out every month. So, pretty cool.
And this week's fact, quote, or question comes from listener and Patreon supporter Odie Matthews, who's been a long-term supporter of the show. So thank you so much, Odie.
Always, his name comes up and I think, what a cracker.
What a cracker. What a bloody... Which is like not a nice thing in America, by the way.
I mean like what a cracking name over here. Like, that's a cracker.
Crackers, it's a big gap in meaning between America and Australia.
Sorry,
Cracker is such a positive here.
Nothing to do with race over here. I'm sorry.
Odie also gets to give himself a title, and I don't think his heart was in it. So in the past, we've had things like Junior Vice Intern of Sydney Scheinberg, Junior Vice President of Cannelloni Production, Senora Presidente of Taco Bell, and this is what Odie Matthews replied when I said, and you can also give yourself a title. He goes, I'll go with chips and salsa because that's currently what I'm eating. So his title is Chips and Salsa.
I love it.
Not even like president of the chips and salsa.
It immediately made me want to eat chips and salsa.
No, but I also love that, like, one-track mind. Like, I can't think of anything else because I'm distracted by chips and salsa.
I'm enjoying these chips and salsa.
Fair enough. Good for you. Chips and salsa are delicious.
It's good marketing.
Anyway, so he's chosen to give us a quote, and this is a quote from Odie himself, which is a loophole someone found a few weeks ago as well. This is what Odie said. Quote, I showed my girlfriend, Minna Gannon, you guys, and now she absolutely loves the show. It makes me so happy that we can talk about them together now, and she especially likes Jess's laugh. We are both massive fans and love you guys. That's the quote.
Odie.
That's a beautiful quote. I'm going to get that printed on a tea towel and sell it at markets.
And I'm going to get it tattooed on your back.
On my back?
On your back.
Okay.
In tea towel form.
Oh, yeah. Okay, now I'm back on board. Yes.
That's really sweet.
very
Thanks so
nice.
much, Odie.
Thanks, Odie. Can
bloody
you
gun.
convince my girlfriend to listen? That'd be really good.
Nah. She doesn't support us.
And we also, another thing we do.
Matt and I aren't sure that she's real.
Yeah.
You did
Even
meet
though
her
we
that
did
one
meet
time.
her that one time when we
finally
wrote
met
Yeah, we met
Christmas
that
cards.
paid actress one time.
That's true. Very easy to
What an
organise.
actress. She came over, she's giving me, hey, babe, starts giving me massages. And I'm like, yeah, you can see that we're in love. That didn't happen at all.
No, that's right. We could not see that you were in love.
No, it was quite frosty.
Oh, it was, yeah.
Oh.
She kept calling him Steve, and he was going, it's Dave.
It's babe. Babe. Call me babe.
She's like, you're going to have to pay me more.
And then you, like, fake laughed so we would be thrown off.
She's like, I didn't realize how tough this would be.
But Matt and I were, like, writing notes to each other, just like, this is
This
fucking
is
weird.
fucking weird. Get us out of here.
Quick, pretend your phone is ringing. Oh, it's an emergency.
Hey, it's my dad, mum. You're in the hospital? Okay. Quick. And we
Oh, no, it's my fake boyfriend. He's dead. Gotta run.
gotta go to his cremation factory. Quick.
Matt has to come too. Bye.
Yeah.
I thought they were all real things. You telling me that was made up?
I said fake boyfriend. That's the confusing part.
I just thought that was a cool nickname.
Yeah, I call him fake.
Fakey.
It's pronounced babe.
Another thing we like to do at the end of the episodes, Dave, is another
Jess?
Patreon related thing. I was trying to throw to Dave to explain it, but please, Jess, could you explain this bit at the end?
We thank some of the Patreon supporters.
Succinct, yet,
And we do it.
What?
I mean, I think it's better when I fumble it.
Okay, fine. You go for it then.
No, back to Jess.
So we're going to shout out a few names, and Jess comes up with a little game for us to play, which is not really a game.
Basketball nickname.
All right, basketball.
Okay, for example,
So
Wilt
the
the
round
Stilt.
of sound.
Round.
Wilt the Stilt.
Wilt the Stilt.
Round.
Wilt the Stilt's so good.
Pound of rebound.
Carl the Mailman Malone.
That's
Great.
great because he always delivers.
Always delivers.
That's fantastic.
So
Do
good.
you know the best sports nickname though is Nobody?
What's just happened?
Sorry, is that serious?
Yeah. Because I had a blank. And I was going to say
It's nobody. Silence.
John Eels. John Eels' nickname.
Johnny Eel's nickname is Nobody.
Nobody, because nobody's perfect.
Oh, very
that's
good.
right.
That is very good.
And I nailed it. I got Larry Bird to help me write.
Shout out to Larry.
All right, let's thank some people. Are you Googling that now?
I'm Googling some sweet basketball player nicknames.
Nice.
I think I looked up Larry Bird's nicknames and they were a bit silly. Let me find them. Larry Legend.
Ugh, lame.
Also, the basketball Jesus. Someone's written.
Why?
That.
I got
You
here
feel right.
for Larry Bird, the hick from French Lick.
Yeah, that's the other one I saw.
What's-
The hick from French Lick? Because I think that's
town
where he's from.
in Orange County in Indiana.
French lick.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
Also, the Great White Hope. Ooh.
Okay. I like the great white shark.
Yeah, that's much.
Greggy.
Greg was taken, so they had to change it to something else.
So let's thank some supporters. I'd love to thank another cracking name. They're always cracking names. From Ballarat in Australia, which is where the episode from not too long ago was set about the Eureka Stockade.
And my grandparents live.
Sandy Ty.
Sandy Ty. I mean, I've got a list of basketball nicknames, or do we want to make one up?
No, go on. What do you got? Anything good stand out there?
Dr. Duncanstein.
Oh, yeah.
Dr. Duncanstein.
That's Daryl Griffith's nickname, apparently.
I like that. Dr. Duncanstein.
Sandy Dr. Duncanstein Ty.
Love it. Yes.
Dr. Duncanstein. Because Dr. J.
Yeah.
Dr. J. Who was Dr. J? Dr. Sorry, I'm stuck. Dr.
Julius
I
Irving.
can't get out of this. Dr.
Julius Irving
Dr.
II.
He's answering you.
I can't. Dr.
Oh,
no.
no.
Dr.
J?
Oh, no.
Oh, thank God. Dr. Julius. Dr. J. So good. Yeah, I think they used to do better nicknames.
Yeah.
And so what's Sandy? So can you give me Sandy's again?
Dr.
Oh,
Duncanstein.
that is very good.
Or
Sandy
Dr.
Tyson.
Duncanstein. I guess like Frankenstein. That makes more sense.
Duncanstein.
Duncanstein. Fuck.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
And I'd also like to thank from Bristol.
Oh, we're coming for you, baby.
Dave, can you look up and see if that's close at all to any of our live shows
That
when we go
is-
to the UK?
Definitely close to our Manchester show. No, Bristol, Wednesday, November 14th at the Improv Theatre.
I'd love to thank Mr. Thomas Keywood.
Oh, that's good.
So key. Like
Key.
there's a key pun, surely.
Yeah, the lock. He's a lock.
And but he's in the
Like
key.
a sure thing. Oh, he's in the key. Oh, the basketball
The
key.
basketball key, yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to say, unless you time out, I'm just going to say the first thing that comes out of my head.
Go
so
for
you
it.
want to say something smart, do so. Otherwise, I'm
No.
going to call him.
We want you
Yeah, we want you
to
to
embarrass
do it.
yourself.
Okay, I'm going to say, okay. Okay, I'm just going to... Is it getting hot in here? So I just got... Mouth's just got a bit dry. Okay. Okay, let's see. First thing that comes to my head, basketball. All right, here we go. And that dunk's already been taken. That's ruled out nearly everything I've got.
Yeah.
Okay. Thomas Slamcino.
Slamcino. That's good.
I like that.
Slamcino is good.
Slamcino.
What does that mean?
Nothing.
I've got a
Sounds
real
so
empty
good.
head.
Are you all right?
I don't feel very good.
Okay.
Someone poisoned my pizza. Have Five Guys delivered me a pizza lately?
I worry about you.
Thanks, Stamcino. What a great nickname.
Slamcino. Thomas, I'm so sorry. If you come to Bristol, I'll have something better for you by then.
Can I please thank some people also?
Yeah, that'd be
Please
really
do.
nice.
I would like to thank from Nightcliff in the Northern Territory
Oh, wow, what a great sounding
here
town.
in Australia. Madeline Davies Kildare.
Ooh,
Oh, wow. I mean, the
so
assassin.
Oh,
good.
yeah.
Killed you.
Bang. Yeah, great. Good one.
MDK, the assassin.
MDK.
Oh, yeah, that sounds sick.
That's awesome.
Way better than one on Wikipedia here listed as Elliot Perry, nicknamed Socks, in brackets, because he always wore his socks to his knees.
God, they're creative, aren't
I
they?
love when they have to explain it.
Yeah, it's so good. And I'd also like to thank from New York City in New York in the United States of America, Jake Sullivan.
Oh, yeah. Instantly, I think the snake, but
Oh, yeah, that's
probably
good.
get that a bit. Also, like, I just thought one of my favourite childhood players for the Saints was this guy called Stewie Lowe, and his nickname, because he had real big hands, was Buckets. He had hands like buckets.
That is good.
And Buckets also works for basketball. Do you think that could work?
Buckets. Yeah,
Buckets.
Jake Bucket Sullivan.
Love
Jake
it.
Bucket Sullivan. That sounds
Sounds good.
That's great.
classic.
On
Jake
ya.
Bucket Sullivan. Jake the Snake Bucket Sullivan. Bucket of snakes.
Stop. No buckets of snakes.
That's not a
They deserve to be treated better.
better.
I'd like to thank a couple of peeps now if I could. I would like to thank whose Patreon username is JMFK, but then full name is Jennifer Kitney. Jennifer Kitney. I mean, JMFK is a pretty sweet name.
Do you think it's Jennifer motherfucking Kitney? JMFK? Is that what, do you reckon that's what it is?
Probably.
I really hope so.
And I love it.
And obviously, you could call her JMFK in the commentary, and everyone would know it's a rude name, but you could say that on
Yeah.
TV.
Yeah.
It's Jennifer motherfucking Kitney!
Yeah, that is good.
Hell yeah. And she's from Basildon in Great Britain. Or Basildon. That sounds better.
Basildon.
Sounds more British. Basildon. But knowing how the Brits pronounce their own words, it's probably Basildon or something like Basildon. That'd be weird silent letters in there.
Probably not in this one, but in other examples, maybe.
Not that far out of London, so really hoping to see you at our London show on November
Jade
18th.
motherfucking K.
Yes.
Jade of the motherfucking K.
Very good.
And finally, I'd like to thank from right here in Brunswick East, Victoria, Scott Watkins.
Oh, that's got a real nice
Lightbulb.
rhythm to it. Scott Lightbulb Watkins.
Yeah.
Scotty Watkins.
He's a smart
light
player.
bulb.
Smart player on
He's
the
a smart
court.
player. He's clever.
He lights up the court.
Yep.
Yes.
These are all good.
Scotty Watkins, thank you so much, Lightbulb. I reckon if you put them together, those 6 players, they would be
The
the
new dream
best
team.
dream team they've ever put together.
Yeah, I reckon. Do you think we could get them all in the same place, same time?
Yep.
Yeah.
It's an international team.
Easy. Everybody.
Everyone meet in London on November 18.
Okay.
And then we'll figure it out from there.
Yeah. And we'll.
Scott, you can probably stay here. We'll come back here anyway.
Who are they taking on? Do you think? Globetrotters.
Yeah.
The Avengers.
The Avengers.
The Avengers of
in a game of
basketball.
basketball.
No, the Avengers of basketball, in brackets, the Globetrotters.
Right.
You know who they're talking about.
You know
Oh,
what
we
it's
know.
like. You know what they're like.
So that brings us to the end of the show. Little plug section. I'd love. I've been enjoying making this show called Primates, another podcast. I've had episodes featuring Jess Perkins, Dave Warnocky, Mr. Sunday Movies, Claire Tonti,
Andy Matthews.
Andy Matthews, Alistair Tremblay-Birchall, people from across the Planet Broadcasting Network
And beyond.
and beyond. There's probably a link to that in the description here. But also, if you want to find us at Do Go On, we're on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook at Do Go On Pod. We also have an email address, dogoonpod@gmail.com, a website, dogoonpod.com. We have a YouTube channel, which is YouTube/DoGoOnPod. A Patreon, which is patreon.com/DoGoOnPod. Do Go On Pod is the main thing to remember.
Yeah, just
there.
look that up. I
We
reckon.
really nailed it on every platform.
Yeah, good for us.
We bloody did it.
Except MySpace. We never got in there.
And if you are in England or Scotland, or if you have the ability to get to any of those places, I know we've had people in the past say that if we come to there, they'll come fly over from other places in Europe, which would be very exciting.
It would be so amazing.
And we're also going to be doing a show live at Howler in Melbourne on the 13th of October.
Great venue. Such a nice place.
St. Vincent's played there. King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard have played there. The Killers have played there.
Jess Perkins recently did a set and smashed there. So
Yeah. You can see the place where Jess Perkins smashed. You can see Jess Perkins smash.
Yep, it'll happen.
It's also the first place Jess ever did a gig.
Okay. Yeah, Howler. On the 14th, let's go.
Jess has
That'll be
clocked
fun.
off. She's not enjoying this long outro. This is a long kiss goodnight.
but she's like, her lips have left the building. All right, thanks guys for listening. We'll be back next week with another episode. Hopefully see you in Sydney this Friday night. And for everyone else, I'll say thank you and goodbye.
Laters.
This podcast is part of the Planet Broadcasting Network.
Visit planetbroadcasting.com for more podcasts from our great mates.
I mean, if you want. It's up to you.